Welcome back to our channel. We are the Addams family. We just changed our name from Zach and Allison because we aren't just Zach and Allison anymore. We do have a 1-year-old son, and we felt like Zach and Allison just didn't really fit us. But this channel is still mainly about food and the occasional adventure from time to time as well. So if you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and stick around and hit that subscribe button. And this week I'm going to take you through what we eat for dinner this week. And this was a real week for us. We entered survival mode because our 1-year-old was sick, and this is truly what we eat on a busy, hectic week. On Monday, I just did a simple sheet pan dinner. I love doing this on days where I just don't feel like cooking or I just don't have the time, energy, or effort to put into making a whole meal. So I just cut up some potatoes, chicken, green beans. I seasoned it with salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder, and some smoked paprika. I mixed that together with some olive oil, and then I baked it in the oven at 375 degrees for about 45 minutes, and it was a pretty good meal considering the amount of effort that it took. On Tuesday, I made hamburger steaks. I don't make hamburger steaks very often. I honestly just forget about it, but they are so simple and they are so good. I just need to make them more. I just seasoned my ground beef with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder, and then I formed hamburger patties, and once all the hamburger patties were formed, I went ahead and put them on the stove to start browning. And while those were browning, I went ahead and made some gravy. Now, I like to make homemade gravy, but it was not happening this week, and I always have brown gravy packets on hand for times like this. And while the other side was browning, I started some frozen peas. I try to always have a veggie. It doesn't always happen, but I really do try. I added just a little bit of butter for some flavor, salt, pepper, water, and I just let those boil and do their thing. And by the time I was done getting that ready, it was time to add the brown gravy. So I just poured it in and I put a lid on and just let it simmer until the gravy was thickened. And once the gravy is thick and to the texture that you like it, it's ready to serve. And I served this with sourdough bread. Now, I make homemade sourdough bread, but you really could serve this with anything. It would be good with rice, mashed potatoes, honestly, any type of carb. But this was such a good dinner, and I definitely need to do this more. Now on Wednesday, we had taco bowls. I generally make something taco related every single week. I just find it really easy to throw a bunch of random ingredients together, throw some taco seasoning on it, and it's something that everyone in my household will eat. Now for these bowls, I started off with making some rice. I like to cook my rice in chicken broth just to add a little bit of flavor, and I also added 1 cup of salsa to the rice as well. Once I had the rice on the stove cooking, I went ahead and started chopping up some bell peppers and chicken, and I put that on the stove as well to start cooking. And once the chicken was fully cooked, I started adding some of the other random ingredients to this taco bowl. I started with some lentils. I really wanted black beans, but I just didn't have any, and the lentils just honestly disappeared into the dish. You didn't even know they were there. And I added some canned corn on top and then some taco seasoning. I like to make homemade seasoning, but I was out of cumin and a lot of the basic things that you need for a good taco seasoning, so I used a packet, and honestly, the packets are really good to have on hand. And then I mixed this together. I just let it cook until all the flavors were combined, everything was soft and ready to go, and it was time to serve. On Thursday, we just had leftovers, which is pretty typical for us because I usually have so much stuff in the fridge that needs to be eaten. But then on Friday, I tried to make something a little bit more exciting. If not, we're really tempted to go out to eat. So on this Friday, I made a chicken pot pie, and here I am shredding the butter to start my sourdough pie crust. If you have never tried making a sourdough pie crust for any of your pot pies, I highly recommend it. It just adds another level of flavor to your pot pie, and it's just so good. We really enjoy it. But after I finished this pie crust, I just let it sit in the fridge all day, and then I came back to it when it was time to actually make dinner. And during nap time, I went ahead and started boiling a chicken. I like to simmer these on a low heat for an hour or two until they're finished. I just kind of put them on and then I let them go. And then I started prepping some of the vegetables. I just did the normal carrots, onion, and celery. And then I put those in a pot and I started cooking those. And this is when my brain totally shut off. I went ahead and added my chicken broth and my chicken, some salt and pepper. And then I realized that I did not add the flour to the vegetables before I started adding the liquid. I like to do this first because I'm always afraid it's gonna get all clumpy and weird, but I ended up just mixing together some milk and flour, and I added that in that way, and it did seem to work out just fine. Now it was a little bit more liquidy here than I would like, so I ended up adding a little bit more flour than it is here, but all in all the chicken pot pie turned out really good. Now I also didn't have enough pie crust, but I find that chicken pot pie is really hard to screw up, so if you've never made one before, I just want to encourage you to try it because they're really easy. You can always fix it and wing it and make it work, and they almost always turn out really good. Well, that's all I have for you today. If you like videos like this, definitely let me know in the comments below. I like watching stuff like this because I like getting ideas from other people, because sometimes I just kind of get bored with what I normally make. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.